The Rastafarian movement is more than just dreadlocks and reggae. It's a powerful spiritual way of life rooted in resistance, liberation, and an unshakable belief in justice. But in its early days, this culture faced fierce opposition, even from Jamaica's first Prime Minister, Alexander Bustamante. Today we'll explore the untold story behind the conflict between the Rastafarian movement and Bustamante's government, and how this battle left an indelible mark on Jamaican society. Why do so many people embrace Rastafari? To understand this, we must look at its roots. At its core, Rastafari is a spiritual movement grounded in Ethiopianism, an ideology that reveres Emperor Haile Selassie as the divine leader and the living God. It's a rejection of Western ideologies, a cultural rebellion against colonialism, and a rejection of what Rastas call Babylon, the oppressive, exploitative systems of the West. But Rastafari is not just about spirituality, it's also about social rebellion. The movement grew as a way for Black Jamaicans to resist the lingering effects of colonialism and the oppression they faced in post-colonial Jamaica. It became a voice for the disenfranchised, the marginalized, and the poor. Rastafari also emphasizes livity, a lifestyle that celebrates natural living. This includes the ital diet, which rejects processed foods, and the iconic dreadlocks, a symbol of spiritual and cultural identity. For many, it was a way to reconnect with African roots and reclaim power over their own lives. Rastafari's influence spread globally, thanks in no small part to the worldwide popularity of reggae music. Artists like Bob Marley made sure that the messages of Rastafari, love, peace, and resistance, reached the ears of millions. But as the movement gained attention, it also attracted opposition. As Jamaica gained independence in 1962, the Rastafarian movement grew rapidly, challenging the status quo. But the country's new leadership, particularly Prime Minister Alexander Bustamante, saw it as a threat to the nation's image and stability. Bustamante, a conservative leader, referred to Rastafarians as outlaws and troublemakers. To him, their rejection of Western-style politics and capitalist values was an act of defiance that threatened the modernizing vision he had for Jamaica. Under Bustamante's government, the state sanctioned violent crackdowns on Rastafarians. They were subjected to public ridicule, police brutality, and unjust arrests. One of the darkest chapters in this history is the 1963 Coral Gardens massacre, where Rastas were targeted by the police in a brutal attack. Rastafarians, with their resistance to Western oppression and their commitment to their spiritual beliefs, were caught in a struggle against a government that sought to suppress their way of life. In 1967, Alexander Bustamante resigned as Prime Minister of Jamaica, citing health issues as the reason for his departure. But the truth behind his resignation is more complicated. Public discontent had been brewing, particularly over the government's mistreatment of Rastafarians. The Coral Gardens massacre had sparked outrage, and the people were demanding justice. It's possible that Bustamante stepped down, not because of his health, but to avoid the backlash for his oppressive policies. The people were angry, and his resignation allowed him to deflect responsibility for the violence his government had sanctioned. The resignation was framed as a personal issue, but many believed it was a way for Bustamante to escape criticism and avoid the growing anger over his treatment of Rastafarians. Despite the hardships they faced, the Rastafarian community emerged stronger than ever. Today, Rastafari is a cornerstone of Jamaican culture and identity. From the iconic dreadlocks to the international popularity of reggae, the movement has left an indelible mark on the world. Jamaica has come a long way from those early days of conflict. The public's perception of Rastafari has shifted, and what was once seen as a threat to the state is now celebrated as a vital part of the nation's cultural fabric. The legacy of this conflict teaches us powerful lessons about tolerance, leadership, and cultural acceptance. It reminds us that the struggles of one group can transform into the triumphs of a nation. The story of Rastafari and its clash with Alexander Bustamante is more than just a political struggle. It's a story of resilience, identity, and the power of cultural pride. Today, the Rastafarian movement stands strong, and Jamaica celebrates the richness of its diverse heritage. So, what does this story teach us about leadership and cultural acceptance? Share your thoughts in the comments below. What lessons can we learn from this chapter of Jamaica's history? Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more stories from our past. Until next time, stay proud of who we are and where we come from.